Good evening, people. You've probably seen a few of my videos where I'm demonstrating the use of Scalar or Captain Epic, and several people have said, why don't you check out Orb Composer Pro? And here it is. It's on Plugin Boutique. Now, what really caught my eye is apparently it's worth £364.96. But I am so lucky that I am now getting it for £72, and I've saved £292. That's one heck of a deal. So I was going to get the trial version, but you know what? I'm just going to buy it. Now, I finally bought the thing. I finally installed the thing. And just before I started recording this, I literally had a 5-minute play because I really don't want to be just sort of putting my finger in the air and just not knowing what's going on. So basically, what we have here is a standalone application. It's not a VST. It doesn't plug into Ableton as a VST, but it does have this MIDI sync, and I'll show you that in a sec. So just the way the whole screen is constructed is very different, and it's not particularly intuitive, but I'll have a go at an attempt to show you guys how I think it works. So basically what it starts with is what they call block items: intro, theme, transition, and end. So we can, I think I know what an intro is. So let's drag a theme. So what you got to do is drag something like a theme like that. And this is an artificial intelligence system. So it's just literally going to provide you, you don't have to choose chords. It just provides the chords for you and the time signature ranges. So, and then you have these intensity and density curves. And to be honest, I'm not going to try and explain them because I frankly don't know them very well. You've got the key here. So for example, we could have the song in E minor, and we can select that. And you can select different key signatures. And this is the tempo, so we can say change that to 100. I'm not quite sure what that is, so I'm not going to show you. And that's it. I think you can go in here if you want and change any of this stuff as you need to. And you can rename this. You can call it whatever you want. And then you can save it. So there's that kind of initial element. And then you have on this left bar here, you've got all these other options of which you've got these different sort of chords. So say, for example, we want to try, and this is very similar to Captain Epic in one way, because it has these chord progressions that you can choose from. You got loads and loads of them. So if you want dramatic, you can choose that one. Romantic, space. Let's choose space. So I'm going to just drag that into here, and the chords now from space are appearing in here. So we can use those chords. In fact, let's see what other moods. So there's all these different types of moods you can pick for your artificial intelligence songwriting, so to speak. But you know, we'll just leave it with what we've got, and a bunch of chords, so you can change specific chords, which I'm not going to do right now. And the most useful, the most interesting thing is it has its stock instruments, which are not that great, but it has stock instruments to give you an idea of how you could compose a track. Now, let's just start with a sort of a keyboard. So we're just going to select a piano. Hopefully I know if I'm doing this right. So there it is. And this is where it took me a while to figure out what the hell's going on. But if you just click in there once, I think it's once or twice, and then press play, you'll hear something in a piano. Not particularly good. So you have these kind of options. You can change the instrument. So for example, you can actually do a VST search, so you can actually bring a proper instrument into here, but we're not going to do that now. Okay, so if you select melody, or I think it's this button here, sorry. So yeah, if you select melody here, you can actually, we'll just listen to that again. That's quite high, so we can reduce the octave. We can change, I think, the polyphony and something called density. So let's reduce that to 40%. and the dynamics. So you might start a bit louder at the beginning and go softer near the end. Now if you select, so these tabs are different ways to play the piano. So this is motif. So you can change the dynamics, the deformation. So if I go back into melody, it will provide a different melody to before. And arpeggios are arpeggios. We can change the number of chord notes in the arpeggio. And then we can select chords. How many notes are in the chords? And we can select when they're played. So if we want to play them every bar, articulation seems to always be universal, so we just leave that. Now the other thing you can do is bring in another instrument. So say for example we want to bring in a synth. Just drag that into there and just double click. We could take this away, by the way. Sorry, before we do that, you can double click on it and you'll see the MIDI. And just clicking the MIDI editor again just brings it back. What we can do is delete it, which I've just done by pressing delete, and double click on it again. And I think it will bring up a different melody. So it's got an automatic melody produced for you in piano and in synth. And it's in E minor, and let's just play it together. Okay, that's not sounding too good. So why don't we try a different theme? Let's try a less intense theme here. Okay, so we've just added that to the end. So why don't you just try to bring in a less intense theme here. Oops. So you can add different blocks after the first block. So what I think this could be useful for is the chords. So just go back into this section here and we change the rhythm for the chords to whole bar, and similar to this one here, we just change that one to whole bar. I think it might sound a bit better if we do things that way. Oops. Wow, it is flaky, isn't it? I just pressed a different button and I got rid of the whole thing. So, and the undo button didn't particularly help. So let's just go back in to here. And this could just be me not really understanding the program. It is literally the first time I've ever used it. So go in there, select whole bar. We'll do the same. We select whole bar. Do the same here. So we just literally get the chords coming out of this in just whole chords basically. So what else you can do is now you can start bringing in other instruments. So for example, you can bring in a bass, and they should play in the same chords, or they should play in the same the same key as the above instruments. So let's bring them in here, and they automatically go to bass because they know it's a bass. So let's just listen to it. So yeah, you don't have a lot of choices. It's playing quite quite fast, but once again you can change the speed of it. So for example, play it every eighth. This one's the same. You can change the dynamics. Then what you can further do, which I find quite interesting, is you can, if I can just find a drum kit, there you go, and we just pick an acoustic drum kit, and once again double click on that selection and listen. So once again you can go in and for drum kits you have a very different look. So just go to the main pattern. Let's actually close that one and pick this one. You can make it less busy by deselecting some of the items. If you don't like it, you can just click on it and double click and get a new drum pattern. And you can keep doing that until you find the one that you like. And that's the same with all of this. If you don't like the way the chords are playing or the lead, what they call the motif, you just delete and go back in until you find something that you like, and you can do those little tweaks that I was talking about. So that's kind of a very, very quick and very, very unprofessional overview of Orb Composer. And what I will be doing over the next few weeks is just trying to use it a little bit more and learning a little bit more about it. And as I learn more, I will probably make more videos to show you guys how to use it. But at this moment in time, it's definitely not going to replace Scalar and Captain Epic. Those two are better for me. I'm not really sure I'm convinced by artificial intelligence, but there are enough controls in here to make it interesting. And if you really are stuck for ideas, this could help. And yes, the sounds aren't good, but if you have MIDI sync clicked, what you can do is go into Ableton and let's just record the MIDI. If I think I know how to do it. Let's play what's on there first. Okay, so you can see here that I forgot to take the drums off, so all the drum MIDI's playing there, but the second part of the track does have the chords. So if you really want to use the chords there, you have to record them into Ableton Live, and it is a pretty easy thing to do, but it doesn't have what Scalar has and even what Captain Epic has, which is that kind of the ability to easily just sort of take chords, drag them into Ableton, and they're actually VST plugins. Whereas from what I can see, and I'm not sure, there might be a plugin, but I'm not seeing it as a plugin. It's a standalone application. So you do have to record it into Ableton Live. So that's enough from me. I'm going to stop talking right now. I've said enough about Orb. There is potential there. It does look kind of cool, kind of interesting, but it's not quite a tool that I will be using in my songwriting arsenal just yet, but I'm not going to give up on it. Don't give up. Okay, so from me, thank you very much, and thanks, and see you next time. Bye.